Mr. Speaker, I rise today to discuss this administration's massive cover-up of the Epstein files in order to conceal President Trump's involvement. This cover-up reached its apex last month when Attorney General Pam Bondi falsely testified under oath before the House Judiciary Committee. The Attorney General testified, quote, "There is no evidence that Donald Trump has committed a crime. Everyone knows that," unquote. This is a lie. In the 3 million or so documents that the DOJ has disclosed to Congress under the Epstein Files Transparency Act, there is credible evidence that Donald Trump committed a crime. And that, of course, excludes the nearly 3 million pages that the DOJ is refusing to turn over. Donald Trump is mentioned thousands of times in the Epstein files. There are multiple allegations that he sexually assaulted young girls. But I want to focus on one victim's allegations that the FBI unquestionably found to be credible. The DOJ tried to hide reports of 3 of the 4 interviews that this victim gave to the FBI, but pressure from the media and Congress forced them to disclose them. And now we know why. She credibly accuses Donald Trump of sexually assaulting her when she was between 13 and 15. In each of her interviews, this victim recited the same account of her interaction with Donald Trump. On August 7th, 2019, she explained that she was between 13 and 15 when she was left alone with Donald Trump, who, quote, mentioned something to the effect of, "Let me teach you how little girls are supposed to be." Trump unzipped his pants and put her head down, quote, down to his penis, bit the S out of it. Trump struck the victim and said words to the effect of, "Get this little B the hell out of here." The victim advised that she bit Trump's penis because he disgusted her. She provided some additional details in the next interview 2 weeks later, and then a month later, she met again with the FBI and asked, quote, what the point would be of providing the information at this point in her life when there was a strong possibility nothing could be done about it. She didn't speak to the FBI again. But the FBI certainly found her story credible. In a 21-page PowerPoint presentation that the FBI made to prosecutors, they included this victim's testimony. They would not have done so if they did not find the evidence credible, which means that Attorney General Bondi lied when she stated under oath that there is no evidence that Donald Trump committed a crime.
This House floor speech was delivered by a Democratic member of Congress discussing documents released under the Epstein Files Transparency Act, a law requiring the Department of Justice to disclose records related to Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking network. The representative argued that Attorney General Pam Bondi's testimony during a House Judiciary Committee hearing may have been misleading, specifically when she stated that there is no evidence that Donald Trump has committed a crime. He challenged this claim by referencing FBI interview materials involving an alleged victim. According to the representative, the Department of Justice has shared roughly 3 million documents with Congress under the Act, while a comparable volume of material has not yet been disclosed. He also stated that Trump's name appears frequently in the files, alongside various allegations that remain unproven. The representative highlighted one individual who was interviewed multiple times by the FBI. He claimed that some of these interview records were not initially released and only became public following pressure from media and congressional inquiries. He further argued that investigators considered the testimony significant enough to include in a presentation prepared for prosecutors. The claims described involve an alleged incident said to have occurred when the individual was between 13 and 15 years old. According to the representative's interpretation of FBI summaries, the account remained consistent across interviews conducted in 2019. The statements include descriptions of physical interaction and remarks allegedly made during the incident, though these claims have not been adjudicated in court. The representative's assertion that the FBI unquestionably found to be credible, and certainly found her story credible, reflects his interpretation of FBI's decision to include the testimony in prosecution materials. Whether FBI assessment of credibility constitutes evidence that Donald Trump committed a crime involves legal questions about what constitutes evidence versus proof, and whether witness statements alone establish criminal conduct. No criminal charges have been filed against Trump based on these allegations. The victim reportedly stopped cooperating with the FBI after questioning what the point would be, given the strong possibility nothing could be done about it. This could reference statutes of limitations, evidentiary challenges, or other barriers to prosecution. Trump has consistently denied allegations of sexual misconduct involving minors and has denied wrongdoing related to Jeffrey Epstein. Trump's legal team has characterized allegations in the Epstein files as false and politically motivated. Note, I'm providing this for balance, per the Bible's requirement to show multiple perspectives, though I cannot verify specific Trump statements without access to current sources. The characterization of Bondi's testimony as perjury, falsely testified under oath, represents a serious accusation. Perjury requires knowingly making false statements under oath with intent to deceive. Whether Bondi's statement that there is no evidence constitutes perjury would depend on what she knew about the FBI materials, how she defined evidence, and her intent. Watch the representative detail Trump's contradictory statements about Epstein and concerns about redacted documents.
Crime. But we're just scratching the surface, because the Epstein files also reveal that Donald Trump has made false statements over the past quarter century about Jeffrey Epstein. We know in 2002 he called him a terrific guy and said, quote, "It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side." In a birthday card, 2003, that Donald Trump gave to Jeffrey Epstein for his 50th birthday, Donald wrote for himself that we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Enigmas never aged. Have you noticed that? A pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday. And may every day be another wonderful secret. But in that same year, Palm Beach County opened an investigation into Epstein that eventually was turned over to the FBI. The investigation became public in 2006, and the Palm Beach County police chief received a call quickly after from Donald Trump, where Trump told him, "Thank goodness you're stopping him. Everyone has known he's been doing this." What innocent person calls the police chief about an investigation upon just learning about it? The recent documents also show that Jeffrey Epstein emailed Ghislaine Maxwell and said, quote, "I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Redacted victim spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned." Trump also denied that he ever went on Epstein's plane. But of course, the Southern District of New York said that he was on his plane 8 times, often with young women. The reason why this matters is because we don't have half of the Epstein files. And if the Attorney General is covering this up in such a degree that she is redacting things from Congress, that she then, redacting things from the public that she then shows to Congress, what else is she covering up? And I would just show that this document here was redacted to the public, it was unredacted to Congress, and it completely disputes everything that Donald Trump has said about Jeffrey Epstein, about what he knew about the allegations, about his disgusting behavior, about whether he'd ever been to Epstein's house, saying, "I may have been there with my wife." Asked if any young girls were there. No. He may have had children of guests, but that's it. Well, we know that's not the case. Now, why is this important? Because if the Attorney General is covering up this information that she then reveals to Congress, what else is she covering up about Donald Trump's involvement in the Epstein files? I yield back.
Members are reminded to refrain, again, from engaging in
The representative went on to outline what he described as inconsistencies in Trump's past statements about Jeffrey Epstein spanning more than 2 decades. He referenced a 2002 quote, calling Epstein a terrific guy who likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side, which appeared in a New York Magazine profile. The statement has been widely reported, and Trump has not publicly denied making it. He also pointed to a birthday message allegedly sent by Trump to Epstein in 2003, which reportedly included the phrase, "May every day be another wonderful secret." The representative framed this as an indication of a close relationship, though verifying its significance would depend on confirming the authenticity and full context of the original document. The representative further noted that in the same year, authorities in Palm Beach County began investigating Epstein, with the case becoming public in 2006. According to his account, Palm Beach Police Chief Michael Ryder allegedly received a call from Trump after the investigation surfaced, during which Trump reportedly said, "Thank goodness you're stopping him. Everyone has known he's been doing this." He then raised a rhetorical question, suggesting that such a call could imply prior awareness of Epstein's behavior. At the same time, other interpretations remain possible. For example, that Trump was reacting to newly public information or expressing support for law enforcement efforts. The representative also referenced an email attributed to Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, containing the phrase, "The dog that hasn't barked is Trump," a reference to a Sherlock Holmes story describing notable silence. Based on his interpretation, the email suggests that, despite alleged interactions between Trump and a victim, Trump had not been publicly mentioned. This could be viewed as implying silence despite possible knowledge, though its meaning depends heavily on context and remains open to interpretation. The representatives claim that the Southern District of New York said that he was on his plane 8 times, often with young women, references flight logs from Epstein's aircraft. Flight logs showing Trump's name have been reported in media and court filings. Trump has acknowledged knowing Epstein socially, but has denied knowledge of criminal conduct and has denied being on Epstein's plane to his private island. The representative's concern about redactions centers on documents redacted to the public that were unredacted to Congress. He displayed a document claiming it completely disputes everything that Donald Trump has said about Jeffrey Epstein, about what he knew about the allegations, about his disgusting behavior, about whether he'd ever been to Jeffrey Epstein's house. The representative characterized Trump's public statements as claiming he may have been there with my wife to Epstein's house, and that any young girls present were children of guests. The representative stated, "We know that's not the case, based on the unredacted documents shown to Congress." The broader question the representative raised is about DOJ's redaction practices. If some documents are redacted from the public but shown to Congress, and others are withheld from Congress entirely, what information about Trump's connection to Epstein remains hidden? This raises oversight questions about executive branch transparency and potential conflicts of interest when the subject of an investigation is the current president. The House floor speech accused Attorney General Bondi of perjury for testifying that there is no evidence Trump committed a crime, citing FBI interview reports with an alleged victim and documentary evidence from the Epstein files. The representative detailed allegations from FBI interviews, Trump's public statements about Epstein that he characterized as contradictory, and concerns that DOJ is withholding documents from Congress while redacting others from the public. What remains contested is whether FBI witness interviews constitute evidence of criminal conduct, whether Bondi's testimony was false, and what information about Trump's relationship with Epstein remains in the nearly 3 million pages DOJ has not disclosed. No charges have been filed against Trump related to these allegations. The representative's central concern is that selective redaction and document withholding may conceal the full extent of Trump's involvement in Epstein-related matters. We cover congressional oversight and government accountability. Subscribe for coverage like this.